What's going on, everyone? For today's video, it's going to be a GameSir G7 SE unboxing and review. So the reasons I'm buying this controller is because you can overclock this controller to 1000 Hertz, which basically means you're going to have an input lag of 1 millisecond, which is unheard of for an Xbox controller. Only PlayStation controllers can do that. So that was the main selling point for me. The second reason is I needed a new controller since my previous controller, the right trigger, ended up breaking after 3 weeks of use. That sucked. I think it was a PDP controller, so I'm not really familiar with PDP or if that's actually something that's been going on their controllers, but just getting right back into the video. That's another reason why I needed another controller. And the third reason is because I wanted to make a genuine review about this controller. This roller was being overhyped on TikTok.
Here's an affordable controller that won't get stick drift.
If you don't want to break the bank and get stick drift ever again.
I'll hear about that guy that got this controller for only $25.
But I got a package. Is this a controller you asked for, bro?
Wait, people are actually getting this for less than $20?
This is the G7 SE.
Hey, shut the f up!
Like, I just putting it that way, it was being over promoted. I don't know, marketing was just insane for this controller. It was just like everyone and their third cousin was literally on this roller's ass. I literally shunned TikTok because I stopped because of the marketing of this damn controller. So yeah, I just wanted to give you my genuine impressions on the whole thing. I'm gonna go ahead and start unboxing. Okay, so I'll show you actually the sides first, right? So this is the side. It says wired plug and play, 3.5 millimeter audio jack, microphone, mute button, detachable 3 meter A to USB-C cable, Hall effects sensing sticks, and it says GameSir Nexus software, available at Microsoft Store on the Xbox, PC, and GameSir. And this is from Hong Kong, right? That's why there's Chinese letters or Mandarin. Hall effects 3D joysticks. That's what it says here. Responsive membrane buttons, Hall effect analog triggers with vibrations, textured grips, 2 quick latch buttons, anti-friction glide rings. And here's the other side. I ended up buying this controller for $44.99. I know you could get this cheaper, so if you actually wait for, like, let's say Black Friday, which is like really close, or by the time that I release this video it might have already been over, but you could get this for a lot cheaper if you actually wait for like the price to drop. So that's the bottom part. Anyways, I wanted to just go quickly say that the box right away, first impressions, it's very compacted, which is a good thing for controllers. I want to go ahead and unbox it now. Okay, I cut the label already. I'm gonna go ahead and just unbox it. So right away, it seems like the controller is well protected, which is good. There's other controllers that I've bought in that don't have this protection right here, which is very, very good. So the box, even though it's compact, the controller is well protected. I don't know if you can see that. Pull to unbox. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And got that styrofoam basically protecting the controller from the box. You know, sometimes on Amazon warehouses or any other warehouse, it's being tossed around. Okay, I'm just gonna rip it. The GameSir manual that you get with it. We get a sticker, just tight, GameSir sticker, and then we got Xbox Game Ultimate Pass. Don't really need this, so I'm gonna go ahead and scratch it and then show it to you. It's for whoever gets it first, I guess. There you go. And this is the manual. And the manual's pretty big. Holy crap. Yeah, it's very large. Can't show that on camera. It's a damn Pirates in the Caribbean map. I'm actually excited to play with this controller because there's been so many reviews out there and I don't even know if they're actually like just being genuine. The cable seems like it's durable, it's good quality. Just right away from this cable, it's like they care that the customer is gonna get a controller that's working right off the box. So here's the controller, really clean. Here's the back buttons. I'm probably not gonna use them, so I'm just gonna turn on the locks on them. Top of the controller, it's got that grip, the grip feeling on the bumpers and the triggers. Normal buttons, Nothing huge. And then here's the sticks. This is the big selling point, is like the sticks being Hall effect. That's the technology, right? Yeah, Hall effect sensing sticks. They feel really, really good, dude. Holy shit. I know you can take off the, oh, here it is. It's a magnet. I didn't know how to take it off. There it is. Faceplate. Take off the faceplate. Customize it if you want. It's pretty cool. I forgot to click the D-pad. Something I should mention is that the build quality on this thing doesn't feel cheap, and it's not too light, but not heavy either. Here you go, Mr. Chief. These sticks are like not terrible. Some controllers don't feel as good compared to this, so I'm just gonna cut to the portion of the review now.
Many months later.
4 months have passed since I shot the intro of this video. I've been using this controller religiously. I've been using this roller at least 4 hours a day, every day of the week for the past 3 months. And I was playing Apex and Halo Infinite. I didn't use the controller for a whole month because Marvel Rivals came out, and let's be honest, that's an MK game. For the review portion of this video, I will be talking about durability, features and accessories, software, and my final thoughts on the GameSir G7 SE. So as far as durability is concerned, in the past 3 months, I haven't had any issues. Yes, you heard me right. I was just as surprised as you are. No stick drift, no button, bumper, or trigger. Nothing broke. And believe me when I tell you, I was stressing this controller. I was changing sensitivities and dead zones to see how the controller would feel with higher senses and lower ones. I do need to mention though, since the controller is white, it's more prone to looking dirty. Over time, you will start noticing that your dead skin cells are building up in the crevices of the roller, especially because of the textured grips on the triggers and bumpers. You will also notice it around the sticks, buttons, and D-pad. And when it feels dirty, the feeling is sticky. And no, you're not Spider-Man. Stop doing the Spider-Man hand sign. You're not that guy, pal. Your controller's just full of bacteria. For your controller to last longer and look clean, I recommend that you use disinfecting wipes to clean the controller, and to get into the crevices, use a toothbrush that will only be used for this purpose. Take the toothbrush and use some isopropyl alcohol with it to clean the crevices, air dry the roller, and to be safe, use another disinfecting wipe, then let the controller dry again. After this, you should have a cleaner controller, and I make sure to wash my hands before I even grab it. This will diminish the amount of skin cells getting stuck to it. When being used, I clean my controller at least once a week. Membrane buttons are not as good as mechanical buttons. The benefits of the mechanical buttons mostly are they feel clicky, more instant, and more responsive. Regardless, for a $45 controller, these membrane buttons feel responsive and good to press. I was pretty dazzled because this is supposed to be the cheapest part of the controller. You don't need to press so hard on the buttons, they feel pretty natural. I've always had issues with the other controller membrane buttons, especially after 3 months of use. Sometimes the buttons would get stuck or completely break, but with this controller, you won't have this issue. It has the Hall effect analog triggers. The benefit of these triggers is that it's going to be more responsive. Felt great to squeeze as well. I had no complaints. And with the GameSir software, you can customize the trigger range, essentially making the controller have hair triggers or triggers that have no input delay. This means even the smallest pressure applied to the triggers will register. This is essential in FPS because you want to have first shot. Bumpers felt nice to squeeze, and I believe the bumpers also have the Hall effect technology. They feel just as responsive as the triggers. However, I do wish that the grip was all over the bumper and not just on the bottom part. D-pad feels smooth. I love the D-pad. Other controllers have a terrible D-pad, and this controller is not one of them. For the rest of the buttons, like the mapping button, select, start, share, mute, and Xbox home button, they feel okay. Nothing special, just normal buttons. They don't feel super cheap, but you can tell that these are the cheapest parts of the controller. That being said, they do their job, and on a positive note, they're still holding strong. Joysticks have the Hall effect technology. This was a big selling point for me. The anti-stick drift claims, the sticks felt weird at first because they're not your normal Xbox concave sticks. They feel like PlayStation 5 convex sticks, which are outward, but it didn't take me long to get used to them. It took me about a week of gaming for the sticks to feel completely natural. If this bothers you though, the sticks are universal, meaning it is possible to replace the sticks with others, like the Xbox Series X sticks. Usually controllers need to get broken in because of the tightness of the sticks. This controller didn't have that problem. Right from the beginning, sticks felt loose. The craziest part about this is 3 months later and the sticks feel exactly like day one of using the controller. This is big for me because that means I can buy another one of these controllers and my muscle memory is going to be intact. I'm not going to have to break in the sticks at the beginning, which makes your sensitivity feel stiff and slower. Instead, you just pick off from where you left off. Anti-friction glider rings prevent the controller from getting stick drift too early. Yes, you heard me right. This is not 100% bulletproof. You are eventually going to get stick drift. It's just going to take longer compared to other controllers. Sometimes it's okay to have a little bit of stick drift. It just depends on what game you're playing. So let's say you don't want stick drift on your controller while trying to lower your dead zones as much as possible. Why would you want to lower your dead zones, you say? Well, if you want a more accurate and responsive roller, you need to lower the dead zones. Using the GameSir software, you can lower the dead zones values from default 10 and still get 0 stick drift. I recommend you test out the X and Y axis on the firmware to see how low you can bring your dead zones before you start getting drift. Simply lower the number to 0, move your sticks to random edges of the controller, and let go to make sure that your X and Y axis go back to 0%. Do this step at least a couple times to make sure that your dead zone values go back to 0. If the X and Y axis don't go back to 0, you need to raise that number and repeat the same process. Eventually, you are going to find the dead zones that will always have a 0 value. Back buttons are completely mappable to any button, bumper, trigger, and joystick click. You do not have to have the GameSir software open to map the buttons. All you have to do is simultaneously hold the M button and back button for 3 seconds until you notice the light at the top of the controller starts blinking. That's when you press whatever button, bumper, trigger, or joystick click you want to map, and then the light will stop flashing. So on map a button, it's the same process, but this time when the light is flashing, you simply just press the back button you are trying to unmap. I recommend you use the back buttons if you don't play claw or you need them for an important function. For example, in Halo Infinite, I wanted to ping enemies while keeping my thumbs on the joysticks and the fingers on the triggers. So I just decided to map my ping button to one of my back buttons. In Apex, my settings allow me to play without back buttons, so all I do when playing Apex is lock them. This brings me to my other point. Controllers with back buttons should always include back button locks. I detest it when controllers don't have this feature. I love gripping my controller, and when controllers don't have this function, it is so annoying. This controller doesn't disappoint in this aspect, so I need to applaud that. And last thing about these back buttons is they feel natural. You can press them easily when unlocked, and when locked, they don't bother you at all. It has dual vibration motors, one on the left side and another on the right, just like any other controller. Preferably, I don't use the vibration motors since I'm playing first-person shooters. It's just a disadvantage, but I can see other gamers wanting to turn this setting on for the experience in other games like racing games, fighting games, etc. So you have that option, and you can customize it even further with the GameSir software. It has textured grips on the back of the controller handles, triggers, and on the bottom part of the bumpers. The faceplate feature is a plus. You can remove the faceplate for easier cleaning or customization. It is attached with magnets and pretty easy to remove and put on. I can see people who are into arts and crafts trace a design of their preference and paint spray the faceplate for ultimate customization. I've never seen another controller let you take off the faceplate, so I wanted to give them flowers for that. You are getting a quality threaded 3-meter USB-A to USB-C cable. It's flexible, and I like that it's not cheap plastic. Another positive is that it's a USB-C cable because of the transfer speeds. USB-C controllers are more responsive. Many controller companies haven't switched from micro USB cables, which are at this point obsolete. You should be using USB-C controllers because you get less input lag. The weight of the controller is around 0.48 pounds, or for everybody else outside of the United States, 0.22 kilo. The GameSir software is the GameSir Nexus. You can download this software on the Windows Microsoft Store. The biggest features here are the 1000 Hz report rate and the fact that you can have up to 3 profiles that allow you to customize the stick dead zones, trigger dead zones, and the vibration levels of the controller. If you do not have that option to change the report rate on your GameSir Nexus, then follow these next steps. I downloaded the GameSir Nexus software, and the version that I have right now is 1.4.2. Unfortunately, this version doesn't include the 1000 Hz update, which defeats the purpose of why I bought this controller. I was freaking out for a little bit. For about an hour and a half, I was trying to figure out a solution, and I found it. And I was able to overclock it, but not with this version of the firmware. Like, I had to use an older version of the GameSir Nexus software. And I'm gonna show you how to do that. Shout out to this Reddit post. It was having the same problem that I was. Big Negotiation 4736, you're God. Thank you for the link. Okay, so once you click this link, it's gonna open up this. You're gonna click on download. Links to all of this will be in the description. You're gonna click on download. Wherever your downloads folder, go to it. You're gonna have to unzip this using either 7-zip or whatever type of uncompressed software that you like using. Extract it. Okay, so now that we extracted it and we have it here, double click on it. You're going to go to GameSir and then double click on this. And it's going to say GameSir Nexus is already installed. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this is important. You have to uninstall the current version of your GameSir Nexus. So let's go ahead and do that before we do this. Go to GameSir Nexus and just click on uninstall. This app and its related information will be removed. Yes, uninstall. Okay, so once it's uninstalled, now you can double click on this on GameSir. Go to GameSir, double click here. It's going to say install GameSir Nexus, but basically the version that you're going to be getting is 1.2.5. Go ahead and install that. Launch the app, and then you're going to immediately go to updates. I already updated mine. Okay, I already did this whole process. Update your controller. It's going to take a little time. It might freeze around like 70, 80. Don't worry. Let it do its thing. Don't close out the app. Don't do anything. Just let it update. Once you let it update, it says current firmware version 6.28. Go back here, go to profiles, and you're going to have the report rate, like the option. And like I said, you're going to have to download an older version. Remember, at the very beginning of this video, it was 1.4.2. This is 1.2.5. So I don't know why GameSir is rolling it back. I don't know why they keep, taking it away from us and then putting it back, and then they keep taking it, it's back and forth. But that messes with people's muscle memory whenever you're playing a game. Going from a 1 millisecond controller response time to a 4 millisecond, which is the Xbox, I guess, industry standard for a controller, is pretty huge. Like, you could tell the delay. Go ahead and change your report rate to 1000 hertz, and this is only going to work on Windows 11. So make sure you're on Windows 11. So how do we know that it's actually at an input lag of 1 millisecond? Well, there's ways of testing it. Okay, link will be in the description for this website as well. So it's called github.com X input polling rate checker version 1.2.0.0. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go down here, download X input test portable, go to your downloads folder. You're going to have to uncompress it again. My voice cracked there for some reason. You're going to uncompress, extract both. We're going, for the purpose of this video, we're going to use X64. You don't need this folder anymore, so you go ahead and delete that. But now you have this on your computer, and what this allows you to do, and I'm going to do the X input test 1000 samples. Double click on that. This window is going to pop up, and now you can measure if your controller is a true 1000 hertz polling rate. Move left stick. Okay, so you're going to move your left stick in like a circular motion, and you're going to do it as fast as you can, just like so. Boom. So right there, it tells you the results. The polling rate, 999.19, basically 1000 hertz polling rate, with an average of 1.0 millisecond delay, which means it's a true 1 millisecond controller. The PlayStation, essentially, it's like a PlayStation controller. Only PlayStation controllers can do that, so that's really cool that this controller is letting you do that. And yeah, that's how you measure it. Another thing that I found out when doing the input test was that sometimes the report rate would get stuck at 500 hertz, even though I have the report rate set to 1000 hertz. To fix this issue, I simply restarted my PC, and the report rate went back to 1000. As far as the software goes, and I'm talking to GameSir here, next time don't make it so difficult for the consumer to update their controller to the 1000 hertz update. I'm sure the reason they were rolling back the update was the controllers were not functioning correctly. Hopefully in the future, they will have the 1000 hertz update implemented into the controllers already. That way, right out of the box, it's just plug and play. Software can improve as well by adding more details. For example, the dead zones on the joysticks only have whole numbers as an option. You can make it even more detailed by adding decimals. For the price of $45, and sometimes you could get this controller for cheaper than that, I think the controller is worth it. The value you're getting here is unmatched compared to other controllers around a similar price range, even against some pro controllers in the market. If you are on a budget and want the value of a pro controller combined with the quality, this is a no-brainer. It's durable. It has the 1000 hertz report rate feature, which makes your controller feel even more responsive. The G7 SE sets a new industry standard for controllers because of the 1 millisecond input lag on an Xbox controller and the Hall effect joystick tech, which I'm pretty sure is patented. So if other controller companies decide to catch up, they're either going to have to buy a license for the tech, buy the patent itself, or just invent their technology for anti-stick drift. Regardless, companies are going to have to compete, which is a good thing for the consumer. Features that I want to see next time for this controller, I might be asking for too much here, but if you can make a pro version of this controller with mechanical switches on all the buttons, triggers, bumpers, and back buttons, while keeping the back button locks, of course, because the HE version, they just decided to not include that. If you could do that and price it around $80, $120, I mean, that would be my utopia. If you want to help support the channel, leaving a like and subscribing helps out tremendously. But if you want to go a step further, I will leave a link for this product on the description. It is an affiliate link, which means that as long as you don't have that fraudulent Google Chrome extension known as Honey, I will receive a small commission. I bought my GameSir G7 SE from AliExpress. It took about 3-4 days to get to my house. Another thing you can do to help support the channel is join the channel. Memberships are available and they are very much appreciated. I do stream every day on YouTube and Twitch, so if you want to come say hi, that'd be awesome. You know, maybe you have a question about something I missed in the video. Thank you guys if you have made it this far into the video. I will talk to you in the next one. Peace.